Cheche Show. Today I have an exclusive interview with one of, should I say Africa's or the world's sought after solicitors. He's in the person of Mr.Dele Olawanle. He's a pastor, a solicitor, a father, a husband, a motivational speaker. He's got it all. Welcome, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for granting us this interview. Well, where should we start? Your accolades spreads a lot. So I'm going to start from being a solicitor. But I want to get to know you, or our audience want to get to know who you are, because you speak on Faith TV and Believe TV on your legal panorama. So tell us your coming to England from when you were born, because I know from reading one of your books that your mom wanted to abort you when she was pregnant with you. Why was that?
Yes, my mom had 5 children with her first husband, and then he died, leaving her with 5 young children. And then she met my mother, my father, and then when she became pregnant, she decided that it was too much of a hassle and also an embarrassment. So she decided to go and abort the fetus. It was whilst on her way out of the house that a friend of hers visited and said to her that, "What are you going to do?" And she told her that she was going to abort this thing. That was me. The friend said, "Well, don't do that, because this child may turn out to become the one you will rely on when you grow old." And how true, it was prophetic, because today, by God's grace, my mom looks up to me and my other brothers and sisters. But when we talk of substantive support, it comes from me.
Wow. Yeah. A baby or a fetus that was about to be aborted now is a very, very important person in society.
By God's grace.
Yes. When you, well, your upbringing was all right till you decided to travel to England. Why did you want to come to England?
I have always had 2 goals in life: either to be a soldier, to join the military, or to be a lawyer. So, so when I tried to join the army in Nigeria, it wasn't just possible. So I tried, and first time, second time, third time, I decided not to waste my life. So I decided to come to the UK on a visit. And that has taken me now over 20 years to go back.
Wow.
Yes.
A soldier and then now a lawyer. Very interesting. So when you came to England, what was life like?
Life was very hard. In Nigeria, I was doing very well. I was a project manager with a construction company. I had money for a young man of my age, and but when I got there, it was a total shock. In that the jobs on offer, being a cleaner, working at McDonald's, and doing some odd jobs, you know, to me it was a shock to my system. So it was very hard, very difficult, and I wanted to go back. That was when my mother contacted me and said she met a prophet in the name of Prophet Obadare in Nigeria, who told her that I could be attending his church in England. So I joined the church, and I spent 15 years of my life there before I was called out to start Winner's Kingdom.
15 years in one church, that is loyalty. But you said you were working there, back home in Nigeria, and you were very successful. Now you come into England, you have to do all these jobs, and cleaning was one of the jobs.
Yes.
And you were cleaning at the London Underground.
Yeah.
And a cleaner, now a top lawyer. Why? What made you want to stop the cleaning and decide to go into law?
I have always been a dreamer, and I believe that for everything I have achieved in life, whatever stage I am, I believe that the best is yet to come. So I was doing that job, working as a cleaner, first cleaning offices all over central London over years, and then working on the underground, and then from there I did a job called a protection master, you know, and funny enough, some of the guys I left there years ago, 13, 14 years, they are still there, but I had this in my spirit, something that stirred my spirit to go and study law, to fulfill my ambition. So I decided, also at the same time, I was having challenges with the immigration authority. I got married to my wife here, a British citizen, in 1992, and made an application to the Home Office for them to grant me status. They refused, and they gave me a reporting restriction. I did this for 8 years.
8 years?
Yes, reporting.
You were reporting 8 years, yes, to the authorities.
They call it signing on, but they did not give me any money.
Yes, and so did that really push you to?
Not really.
Not really.
Not really. It did not push me. In a way, I felt that I was stagnated, that I could not do much. So I decided not to waste my life waiting for the immigration authority to grant me status, because I believe that, look, once I get this degree, it is mine, and wherever I go in the world, I go practice as a lawyer. So that was what motivated me, that I will be the absolute beneficiary of my education.
Wow, a cleaner signing on, now a lawyer. I like the fact that you said once you achieve that degree, is yours. So wherever in the world you can still practice.
Of course.
And how tough is it to study law? Because I know people take years and years to study and not even pass their exams. To
me, studying law is a piece of cake. It was easy because by God's grace, right from my childhood, I have been, God gave me the brain, you understand? And this is no boasting. Everything that a man has is from above. So to me, studying law was a piece of cake. It was easy. I felt like doing the degree every time. I feel like doing it again because so easy. But what made it a challenge was the fact that I had no bursary, I had no grant, I had no money. My wife was at the same time a student, so it was difficult to pay my school fees as a foreign student. So I had to work at night and study during the day for 7 years, because I did that. And then, you know, I went to the law school doing that. That was what made it challenging. But law itself it wasn't well.
Saying that things were tough to the extent that you sometimes had to wear your wife's
belt. Yes.
Your wife's belt.
Yeah, there was a day I was after graduating from the law school, and I was on my way to the practice where I was working at the time as a training solicitor. I was at the door, just about stepping out, and my belt snapped, the only belt I had. And I had to ask my wife to give me her belt, and I used that for about 3 weeks. But the thing was that it happened in the summer, but unfortunately I wasn't able to remove my winter jacket because people will notice that I was wearing a woman's belt. Oh. Those tough days that it was that bad at times that we could not buy meat even to cook in the United Kingdom. It looks unbelievable. It sounds unbelievable, but it is true.
When you passed your exams to be a solicitor, how was the feeling? I know you said it was a piece of cake for you to study, but some people have to rewrite and rewrite. So for you graduating, what was the feeling?
I mean, I was elated, I was happy, and I was fulfilled in that it has always been my ambition, you know, right from my early days as a child, well, it's either I'm in the military or I become a lawyer, and having fulfilled that, I don't really want to be in the military again.
Yeah. What about being a presidential candidate?
because of my other interests, I believe that I have a bigger calling than that of a president, which is to take the gospel to all the corners of the globe. And I believe that that is more important than just sitting in a country saying I'm a president.
Right. Take me through a day of a solicitor. When you wake up in the morning, what do you have to do to get your day started?
As a solicitor, one thing that is constant in our life is change. You know, because the law is always changing, it's always changing, it's always changing, to the extent that even the lawmakers are confused themselves, because they keep reeling out laws after laws and finding that they made mistake and try to amend it. So for us, the first thing I do in the morning is to know what is the latest position of the law. I keep myself informed so that I don't become deformed. I keep myself informed so that I don't become an embarrassment to my clients or to myself. So we start with that, set out my day and decide what cases am I going to deal with today, which client do I need to talk to, what case do I need to prepare. So I set it out and I follow it religiously, giving room to a little flexibility, because you have calls coming in, you have some emergencies coming in, but my day is usually planned. And with all humility, I'm a very, very busy man.
I know you're a very busy man. I know you're a very busy man. Are there cases that you look at and you say, no, I'm not taking this on, and then you look at another case and say, definitely I'm taking this case on? Are there instances like that?
Yes, there are instances like that, but what happens with law is this: the starting point is consultation. If any client has a case, the first thing they need to do is to go and see a lawyer. They come to see us, and I advise them in conference, giving them a clear, professional, confidential, and truthful legal advice, you know, because I have no reason to deceive anybody. By God's grace, I'm blessed, you know. So I tell them the position. These are the chances. If you have a chance, I'll tell you. If you don't have a chance, I will tell you. If your chances are limited, I will tell you. If it's high, I'll tell you. Then from there, it is up to the client to decide whether they want to proceed or not based on my advice. And you know, the clients they are my boss. Once they say, well, we want you to take on the matter based on your advice and what we know of our chances, then who am I to say no? As I said, there's a role reversal there. They came to me as a lawyer, but once they decide to instruct me, they are my boss, you know.
Why, dear, your boss? If another client, or let's say, as you're saying, they're your boss, but then if they come to you and you tell them that you don't have a chance, and they insist that they have a chance, do you take it on?
In most cases, yes, because they will need to sign an agreement to show that they understood my advice, but that yet they are willing to proceed. If a client says they want to proceed, I mean, unless you're asking me to do something criminal, there's nothing wrong. You just say, well, I'll still try. And funny enough, some people have tried, many have tried, and they won. We eventually won the case. So, you know, they come with this faith thing. But, you know, to me, I give a proper legal advice, and some of them will say, well, I will try. If they want to try, nothing, so you can't stop them, unless you think that the case is totally useless.
Wonderful. You also, an author, you have about 4 or 5 books under your belt. How do you find time to write, study, keep yourself informed, and be a blessing to the world?
You know, I believe in adding value to my life and to the life of others. And just like this interview, not many people will be privileged to watch this. Some people are in the Caribbean, some people are in Africa, some people are in Australia and other countries of Europe. But I write because some of my messages, some people can never access it except through books. So wherever I cannot reach, my book gets there. So the reason why I write is that I write from a personal perspective, my experience, what I have known. Most of the accounts in my book are testimonies that I want to share with people. I remember that Bob Marley sang that what life has taught me, I would like to share with those who would like to hear. So I try to share my experience, and through my books, also, I'm a man that is dedicated to excellence. Whatever I'm doing, I want to do it well. So I believe in occupying my time, using it, the totality of my time. And I believe I don't really have enough time. So if you are determined, if anyone is determined, they can do whatever they want to do. So you can write books, you can be a pastor, you can be a preacher, you can be a lawyer, you can be an accountant at the same time, and you still discover that you still have time.
Talking about time, if I really want to get into that time bit, because you're busy as a father, a husband, a solicitor. Now you're writing. So when do you make that time to say, okay, I'm writing the book, and then get yourself informed for the law aspect of your life, and then also make time for the family?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that failure to plan is planning to fail. If you plan your days, you will be able to achieve whatever you set out to do. So I plan my life, and I don't like people intruding into my space, so that because I know what I want to do. It is through doing that I know I have the time for the family, I have the time for the legal practice, I have time to write my books, and also I'm into music. Actually, I'm in the studio now to release my latest album. People don't know that. I've never been a member of any choir, but I get inspiration to sing, and I've written over 2,000 unpublished songs that are still in the bakery of music. So I plan my life because I'm determined to leave my footprints on the sands of time, to be a headliner and not a footnoter. So because of that, I am committed. It is commitment, it is dedication, it is discipline, and also a matter of integrity also to do what I set out to do. At every point of my life, I've always made sure that I set my goals and I achieve it. Once I achieve one, I take the next one, and I keep going. So we all have time. But if you are determined and you are disciplined, you will get there.
If you're listening, we all have time, so we don't have an excuse to say, oh, I don't have time not to do this. This is a man who, well, he said from grass to grace, a cleaner, and he's risen to now writing, and he's just said music. So music. So should I say X Factor or Nigerian Idol or American Idol? But I know you have to go to the studio and practice the voice, or you don't. You just are inspired.
I still make time to go to studio and practice and sing my songs, and yet I still have time.
So you you write your own songs, and
of course, yes, of course,
and your own beats, and you just mix it.
Of course, yes. I tell the producers how I want it to sound. Yes.
Anyway, I've heard you sing. It's not bad as well. It's not bad. But I want us to talk a little bit about your personal life as well. You're the first lady in your life, and I know she's been very, very helpful and committed to you. How did you meet her?
I met her somewhere at Wood Green, very close to where we are now, and in my cousin's house. And just after that first meeting, I started meeting her everywhere I went, and I decided that this is water. What is stopping me from being baptized? So I started chasing her. She refused, threw flowers at me, threw cards at me, shut the door at my face. but I eventually got her, and that was over 20 years ago. By God's grace, we now have 3 wonderful children. One is 17, one is 15, and the youngest one is 10, before I retired.
You have retired from... Like, she threw flowers at you. I know, well, most people watching it, some men, should I say African men, somebody's going to phone me up and and say, hey, but African men are not into cards and flowers. Is that true?
I think that is, I mean, that is an error, in that we are not in Africa. And when you are in Rome, you behave like Romans. And the thing is that adaptability is the order of life. If you get to, or if you are not able to adapt, then you will be adopted. But if you are able to adapt, if you are able to adapt to your situation, to your environment, you will become one of them rather than being, you understand? So I believe that is an archaic idea to say that African men are not into cars. So what are they into?
What are they into?
Yes.
And now, when you said you met your wife in Wood Green, which is in Haringey, where your office is also situated, and then your children were born in Haringey, and your church also in... Why Haringey? Why not... Well, because some people become, you know, very successful and they decide to move to the city or somewhere very posh. Why Haringey? I
mean, Haringey to me is posh, is good, but I believe that I was divinely positioned here. And that's why we have to be sensitive to know where we have to be, where God wants us to be. People may hear me talking of God or something like that. Well, I'm a Christian and I'm proud to be, and I lift up God in everything that I do. The thing is that I sensed it in the spirit that I was to be based in Haringey, and I've remained around there, and I've achieved a lot. I got married in Haringey. I had all my children in Haringey. I studied whilst in Haringey. I graduated in Haringey, finished in law school in Haringey, became a solicitor in Haringey, became a British citizen in Haringey. And today I'm still here. My legal practice and our church is in Haringey. So everything about us has been Haringey, and I love Haringey.
Wow, you love Haringey. We should, because some people say, yeah, we love United Kingdom, so we love who we are. It's very important to love who you are. And recently you purchased a building, very beautiful building, and you've named it the Land of Grace.
Yes.
Why the Land of Grace?
It is because it was an unusual find. We did not set up any committee to go and look for the church. We didn't even contact any estate agent. I just got to know, you know, by the Spirit, that there is a building here. And when we got there, we saw that 25 churches, other churches, have made an offer to buy this place, and then 3 other businesses, making 28 of them. And we were the last to arrive on the scene. But on getting here, and the guy saw us, saw my wife, and looked at us and said, you know what? I'm going to sell the building to you. We thought it was a joke. And within 2 months, we had purchased it, we got the key, we moved in, and it was just like that, just with great speed. So I thought that it could be nothing but the grace of God, and grace means unmerited favor. So that was what we enjoyed, and so when we bought it, I just called it the Land of Grace, because it shows that it's a land where we enjoyed on unusual favor.
You also hold a program on Faith TV and Believe TV, your legal panorama, which reaches wider audience. Why did you decide to go to, you know, do that program?
Yeah, that is partly from my experience with the Immigration Authority. And I've spoken, been a guest speaker at many conferences, many churches, or in the United Kingdom. And what I have discovered is that ignorance is rife among the ethnic community. They don't know anything. Most people don't know anything about their legal rights, about their obligations, about regularizing their stay, about what not to do, what to do, or how to prepare themselves to make an application for settlement, or how to appeal, or things like that. So the program, to me, is my contribution to the society to make sure that immigrants are well informed so that they don't become deformed, and also for them to know that if United Kingdom is their home, albeit temporarily, they should not set it on fire, so they should not do anything criminal. They should not drive without insurance or without a license. They should not do credit card fraud and things like that. So it is my way of contributing to the society and to make, and I've been doing it for the past 8 years. It has been a blessing to millions around Europe and also beyond this continent.
Wow, it's been wonderful talking to you, Mr. Dele Olawanle. Such a pleasure for your wisdom and what you're doing. Thank you so much for coming on the Nana Cheche Show.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. So you've heard it all. You can do something with your life. You might be a cleaner, you might be whatever job or occupation you are in. You might be happy, you might not be happy. But you heard it from him. He says, add value to your life. He has added value, and now today he's a sought after lawyer. You could be one as well. Not only a lawyer, but a top person in your field. Keep watching the Nana Cheche Show, and thank you for